All right. It's all about the state of the nation. We're taking a look at the political situation. Well, we've seen my first analyst. They talked about various issues, salient issues ranging from the apprehension of Nigerians if their PVC is really as powerful as they are taking it to be. It's all about the counter of the vote or the counters of the votes. Is the vote going to count? While we're going to the papers, you get to hear a man talking about liking PVC to AK-47. We're going to use it to go there, exercise our franchise, and vote whoever we want to vote in, or vote whoever we want to vote out. Yeah. And what about also the threat of labor? If you don't give us what you're asking for, forget about our vote. After they get to hear, no work, no pay. What about the security situation of the country? You might have heard about the Corona crisis. You might have heard about the headsmen clash and farmers clashes. Is it going to tell also in the election? What about money politics? Anyway, we're going to go in depth in this discussion segment. With me here in the studio, I have Obaraye Osanho. Yes, a friend of the house, voice of the masses. You get to hear, put food on the table, forget everything, we'll know what to do. A political analyst, an entrepreneur, a businessman. Well, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate your coming.
God bless you. Good morning, viewers at home.
All right. And sitting close to him is a legal practitioner. Talk about local and international politics. Is well-grounded, a human rights activist. Join me, welcome, Barrister Cosmos Irabo. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate your coming.
Good morning, viewers.
And of course, sitting at my extreme left, he is a young man I admire so much, very vibrant. When you talk about camaraderie, yes, comradeship. When you talk about politics, when you also talk about issues bothering people, he is there and always airing his opinion. And let's just see where we'll find him in course the discussion and subsequently in the future. Please join me welcome comrade Michael Osamudame Obasi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Good morning, viewers.
Okay. You've seen the first discussants. They talked at length. I will continue from where they stopped. But one of them raised the point saying, it's not about you going out there to cast your vote. It's about the counters. You didn't mention any name of any group. You just said people that count the vote matters a lot. And Nigerians have been apprehensive. Some of them drew examples of what happened in some states, talking about Ekiti State, talking about Osun State, even talking about other states being governed by some political parties that sometimes is like the PVC is not as powerful as Nigerians are taking it to be. Obaraye, I want to start off from you. How do you feel about this apprehension? What do you feel about this fear?
Thank you so much, my brother Wilson. I think God bless you. For the very just now as we speak, this is supposed to be the talk for the very just now on the issue of election come 2019. I think we must be very plain here. The truth is that the election you can rig is the election done within a small arena, maybe a local government election, a state election, any election are concerning a general issue vis-a-vis something like presidential election, senatorial election, federal reps election. It's very hard to rig it because the reason is because it's a continuous thing, something happening at Ipobahi, Ugbowo, Ekewan Road, everywhere. So you can't be rigging here and be rigging there. It's impossible. The truth is that PVC come 2019 is going to count. Forget any party that takes a day come 2019, but our votes are going to count. That is very for sure. But the most important thing I want to also say is that I've done survey on mine. The truth is that the people talk too much and do nothing much. 80%, 70% of the people you see don't have PVC. They are just fallacy. They come 2019, we will change the change, we will do this, we will do that. Let them talk. After they finish talking, just ask secretly, my brother, where's your PVC? If you go, they're not going to give you the time, not the day. They will give you flimsy excuses. I went to Lagos and on our way coming, the people in the bus, they gave eloquent talk about the future of Nigeria. I took time to listen. A woman, all of them in the bus. As we were about entering or eating, I just jokingly I said, please can we show ourselves our PVC? In that bus of about 15, 14 people, the people with PVC was less than 6. So I said, if we were to do the election year now, if we were to do the election year, the 6 of us will determine the future of the rest of you. God, you know, I work in Lagos, I stay in Benin. So you can say the excuses you are giving, and you are telling me, Nigeria, this person is not good, this one is not good. So, actually, we must get it right. We must say as we do. Okay. The people, I've told them, I said, may God not let me use my personal pocket money to buy data and start discussing about politics for anybody.
Okay, I'll come back to you. You said the votes will count. PVC is as powerful as an AK-47, according to a man in one of our dailies. We are going to the headlines. Okay, Barrister Cosmos, do you share the same opinion with him that, yes, Nigerians shouldn't be afraid or apprehensive, their vote will count?
Well, I wouldn't want to be pessimistic. As a Christian, I want to believe God that the vote will count. But judging from now, because in my profession we start from the known to the unknown, judging from now, I've not seen anywhere so far where the vote has counted, especially when we bring into cognizance the recent elections that have taken place, where the people are saying A, the man who is counting is saying B. It is something that is unfortunate. The other one that happened in Osun, we also saw what happened. When the obvious was there, suddenly somebody said it's inconclusive. And what people thought expected to happen, shamelessly happened. And within it, we saw when person was making a call. Who was calling him at that time? What's the importance, what's the significance of that call? We also saw where somebody, people were tearing, I watch it, I don't know how authentic it is, ballot papers, I really don't know the party that has it. And then when confronted, he said, from above, to tear it. Later I started hearing that, you see, we all, you know the way I do my things, the way I say my things in programs like this. If God has given you privilege to come to a position like this to talk, all you owe God and the people and posterity is to say the truth. For now, if I want to say it the way it is, votes don't count.
All right.
And if we say you can only rig in a local place, you can, I mean, if you can rig among 3 people, you can rig when you are in billions. What do you do? You see, it's a pyramid thing. I'm here at the top. 5 of you or 10 of you handle the 10 states. You 10 states handle this. It goes like that. Instruction flows. The security agencies, they are answerable to someone. We know what is happening. The station where people are rigging, do whatever they are doing, they throw away their faces. We've seen those ones. But when it's, you know, they jump into action and begin to dramatize, arrest, and all those things, please, let us say it the way it is. For now, it will be conversationally dry for me personally to say the vote will count. All right. But we are believing God that the vote will count.
All right.
Being a Christian.
2 opinions. Vote will count. And for what is said also, for now, vote will not count. So we have 2 divergent views. Obara said, yes, your PVC is your power. Your vote will count. My Cosmos Honorable says, as for what he's saying right now, not the future now, not 2019, but said for now, it may not count. So let's see if we'll have a tiebreaker. Michael, what's your view?
Thank you very much. You see, first of all, I would like to state here that the reason why politicians or people find it easy to rig elections is because people who are the voters, the people who really have power, who are the owners of their PVCs, make it possible for them to do that. Situation whereby somebody is being given 3,000 or 2,000 and say, take, this is what you should do, and the person goes ahead to do it, then that person is paving way for corruption, and it's paving way for people who do not have the intentions or the good intentions of the people to enter power. Now, a situation whereby we say vote will count or vote will not count, it also depends on the people, because it is the people that will decide whether the vote will count or whether their vote will count or not. This is a two-edged sword. It's a two-way thing. Well, if we look at it on the other side, and somebody is voting for somebody who is not supposed to be or who ought not to be there, the vote will count. Of course, the vote will count, like we see in today's politics, where people now start buying votes of 100,000 votes, paying 3,000 naira each. That's about 300 million. Such votes will count. Okay? But if we also look at the other side, where people struggle to convince the people and say, vote for me, this is what I will do once you vote for me, and then the people see that these persons are sellable and credible, and they have the people's interest at heart, and they now vote for these persons. But unfortunately, the powers that be now say, well, this is how we want it. Then the vote will not count. So it's a two-edged sword. But all I have to say is, I have to advise the electorate. We need to shine our eyes this period. We need to know who we are dealing with. We need to know who we are supporting. I think it is very difficult for anybody to rig elections, or anybody that's not popular to rig elections. The people that make these people popular are the electorate, the youth, the men, the women. If they see that they are not popular, it will be very, very difficult to rig elections. For example, now, if I say that this my brother is contesting governorship, and that my brother is also contesting for governorship, and then this one is not as popular as that my brother, let's assume the people that follow you, your followers are just 20, and your followers are 200, and we have a total number of registered voters of about 220. And then you now go and rig the elections. It will be very, very, very obvious that the elections were rigged. And even for you to even do that, you will be very, very, very cautious, because you will not want to come into the glaring eye of the public that look at what I have done. But then if you want to rig the election, it will be very, very simple for you to rig the election, because you are already popular. So the people that really make these two persons popular are the people. I don't know if you understand. So we change our orientation. I have been speaking on change orientation. I am launching the change orientation campaign very soon. The youths are the major players of politics today. We need to change our orientation. If we can stop taking monies from politicians, if we can stop selling our conscience, I think our votes will count.
All right. From what you heard talked about, you say it depends largely on the populace and of course popularity of the candidate. You said the power rests squarely on the shoulders of the electorate. If the vote will count, it depends on the electorate. If it will not count, it also depends on the electorates. Obaraye, please react to that statement.
If you listen carefully on what we are saying here, we are towing same line. They're getting it now on different vehicles. Some are using bike, some are driving keke, some are using trekking, but we are all on the same line. That definitely it will, even if it's not counting now. I have told you, monkey smart, now tree near tree. Now monkey they see where John. If there's a tree here and the other one is at UBTH, the smartest of monkey will crawl until they get to the next tree. The truth is that you cannot rig election where you know it's impossible. The riggers of election are the ones that know where I vote at Tessie Primary School or Forestry. You cannot come there and rig it without my consent. It's impossible. Because I've been here for over 40 years. I've been in this place for so where are you coming from? If you come and I know that the only way you can move is one small road at the other place, because this one gets in. So if you want to rig it, as you are coming and say, okay, this one is Wisi, how far are you coming to vote now? I already know you. Exactly, you want to add Bruce Lee to say, so to me, if we want to also rig, it must get connected to we. And if we decide not to rig it, the vote will count. It has been counting.
So for what you're saying, it depends on the people.
Yes, now it has been counting. vote counted and Jonathan congratulated. I get it now. It counted. The reason why I'm telling you that people are just scared is that, you know, most people ask them, my brother, when I saw your that Thursday's program in the evening with Don General, asking people about their PVC, I was happy. Let's keep asking. Where my PVC is in here, is in my pocket here as I speak. I get it now. In case you put the election tomorrow, if I leave here and say, come and vote, I don't want to say I left it. No, it's with me. Let everybody know your PVC. Vote will count. As we speak now, let's be factual to ourselves. Has the political system not changed? I'm a proud member of APC. And as I speak, my brother, election come 2019 can't go either way. Because now PDP that once suffered what APC suffered has now known, okay, it's good to do things well. Oh. Look at their primaries. Let's be factual to ourselves. It's something to emulate. The first time a presidential primaries, nobody decamp, and everybody supported. They say, let's go. The first time. Because they knew what they suffered before. And what is APC doing now? They are dancing naked in the market square. Now as we speak, you see. Are
you speaking as a party member or?
I say I'm a proud member. I'm a proud member. Before I start, I say I'm a proud member.
So we'll be clear.
Yes, you'll be clear.
Okay.
You see, in the morning they will tell you, Monsieur Marshall is the candidate, the party flag bearer for so constituency election. In the afternoon they will tell you it's one Mr. Emafidon. In the evening you will hear it's one Mr. Sanhoy. The next day again you hear different names. When are these people going to start meeting people? So people are confused. Even me as a party person, I'm confused because I don't even know. In the morning you see this person, in the afternoon I keep asking when. You vote this one, and the next thing they are telling you. So they are down. That's why I said they are dancing naked in the marketplace. So you cannot give what you don't have. As we speak now, if they don't go back to the drawing board, the blow coming is that blow that they do say, Baba me hammer, and the guy said, hey, hammer.
Okay, thank you. Just hold on, I'll come back to you. So he still maintains that it depends on the people.
You see, I am a politician. And I thank God I don't belong to APC, neither do I belong to PDP. But I have seen a situation where you will discover that in the polling units, different things take place. But when you are beginning to hear the results, you are amazed. So if you hold your polling units that no rigging takes place, what of when the results are mature? I've seen a situation where results are written even before the election takes place. So how do we substantiate that? You see, we have gone beyond, just like the military. Military tell you that there's nothing like, what do you call it, a battlefront anymore. It's not electronic battle. Where I can be here, I send missiles, they are hitting your country. You understand? That's the way rigging in election has gone. It is no longer an issue of snatching of ballot boxes. We've crossed that. You just stay, manipulate, and get what you want. When you talk, you say, go to court. Of course, we know certain things that go on. At the end of the day, who is not a true representative of people comes out. Where is the genesis of all these things? Is it not primaries? Can we tell ourselves here that we've not seen a situation where people who we know clearly that did not win primaries, their names are written as the contestants or the candidates? If you of course, we all know what, like what my brother said, what is going on at the moment. Is that not part of the rigging? So you see, I started by saying I don't want to be a pessimist. I still want to believe, but judging by what is going on now, our politics, unfortunately, and with due respect, is not progressing, it's retrogressing. During the last election, when the president, as at then, congratulated his opponent, even before the result was announced, I thought from there we were going to fly. But from what we are seeing now, my personal opinion, my view, we are retrogressing. I expected that other elections, you know, subsequent elections, better things will happen. A situation where a man did not contest or was not part of the running mate to a candidate, and the candidate died in the middle of the election, where you have a running mate, and the man becomes the governor. You see, you see, the unfortunate thing is that no matter the shameful level it is, someone will come and tell you it is fair. So, you see, that's why, as it is now, I have my fingers crossed. It is good to say somebody who is not sellable cannot win the election. It is good, but is it the actual thing on ground? A situation where a sitting governor is known to have performed so well, but at the end of the day, the only way you can pay that sitting governor is you are not a good party man, in quote. You don't massage the ego of one person, in quote. And then some other person must come in. Is that not rigging? It is rigging because you have rigged the conscience of the people. Yet we say it is the people. Where do the people count if we want to tell ourselves the truth? They don't count. Few individuals count. And whether we like it or not, we are retrogressing. If care is not taken, we will retrogress into infinity.
No, hold on. We will not retrogress into infinity.
That's why I started by saying that I am not a pessimist. Because I am a Christian, I believe that the future is good. But what we are seeing now, I use the word if care is not taken. All right.
Yes, so thank you very much. You see, I would like to tone in line with my brother here and my brother there. Yeah.
Spoken very, very well. In metamorphosis of a cockroach, it starts with the egg, then before the nymph stage, then before the adult stage. It cannot jump from the egg to the adult stage. That is how our democracy is, and that is how the political situation in Nigeria is today. You see, the rigging starts first from selection of candidates. A situation whereby a candidate will be imposed on the people or on the party. That is where the rigging first starts from. For example, I tell you now, I am NDCP candidate for Igbo Federal Constituency, and I know how we were selected.
We are not going to that level right now.
I know how we emerged. I know the democratic processes which we followed. Nobody went to impose anybody. Nobody went to say, this is the person I want. This is the sacred cow. If we do that, and we impose it on the people, then the people have no other choice but to support. Just like we now come together and say we have a consensus candidate for governorship, for example. And then everybody comes and say, it is this person. Who is now giving the people the free will to choose the persons to represent them by themselves? All these are what we are looking at. Now, going back to the situation at hand, we see that today, votes do not count because the people allow it not to count. Rigging cannot take place without the consent of agents, party agents. It usually starts from the polling units. If it cannot be rigged from the polling units, then it will be very, very difficult to rig it from the collation centers above. Because, you see, the thing starts with the agents come together and say, okay, how far? This is not the person who will say we want support to. You take. And the other party agent will sell their votes or will sell the candidate and say, we have agreed. And once they agree, then the collation officer cannot alter figures. But if they do not agree, collation officers can never alter figures.
So there must be an agreement.
There must be an agreement. So that is where the thing is coming from. So that's my brother's point now. If he now managing his polling unit where he votes, he says this thing cannot happen. We cannot allow this rigging. I tell you, it will be very, very, very difficult for INEC to go to their state office and go and announce another results. That is just the truth of the matter, because there will not be conflict of results. I don't know if you have seen that. There will not be conflict of figures. What is coming from the polling centers different from what is coming from the LGA, and it's different from what they are reading in the states. But if they agree at the polling units and say, this is what we want, this is the figure we adopt, and then they are rigged, and then at the local government level is like that, then at the state level it is just a free ride. They will just come and announce anything and nobody will suspect anything. So the problem we should tackle is agents selling out their candidates at the polling units. That is where the rigging, the origin of rigging, the genesis of rigging starts from. And that is where we must tackle.
Apprehension of Nigerians. And they've been thinking, they've been talking, they've been feeling it. It's all about the state of the nation, political situation, matters arising. Now, vote will count. Vote will not count. It depends on the people. You said to go to the same direction, but using different means. Let's leave that for now. Let's see what happens. Now let's take a look at another part of the society, the workforce. Yes, they will issue their threats, and they too, they threaten back. They say, look, if you don't give us what we want, you say no work, no pay, which will tell you, if you don't give us the minimum wage, there'll be no vote. The workers will determine the outcome of election. Obaraye.
Wilson, one thing I love about you, you are a very, very eloquent, sound person. I must tell you the truth. If you listen to yourself very well, you've asked a very salient question and you've given an answer. Does the workforce determine the outcome of election? The answer is yes. Who are the people? The people, the workers now. I get it now. Just the people you can hardly bribe during election are the workers. The people that will come, hold their newspaper and sit down with their wife and children at the corner, leaving all of you to talk. Either permanent secretary, teacher, retired teacher, you see them sitting down with less sitting. You cannot convince them. Speak all the English and Latin in this world, they will just tell you, my brother, are you finished? Thank you so much. I have my PVC, I know what to do. The ones you can push here and there are those we call in the labor market lebuke, are those jobless people that will come to say, which one they say they share money. My mom is not, she's at home now. You cannot tell my mom to say this is how and who you want her to vote for, not coming from her conscience. So if you do something well, know you have a vote. So the ones are those ones you see, the Mama Junior that will sell corn, sell pure water, sell oil, sell this. So their own is election day is number one. I will cook rice that money. Maybe they'll collect money from Bosusu for meeting to cook rice that money and come take it to the center. And what they'll tell you, if you not give me money, I will not vote. So let's not deviate from it. If my party and the federal government jokes with this issue, it will be shooting ourselves on the leg with our own barretta. So it's so simple. To me, if it's not greed and stinginess, how much are these people asking for? A rise in pay, 18,000. My brother, let's be factual to ourselves. I'm not trying to be so arrogant here. In a week, 18,000 cannot fuel, data, get your clothes from the laundry for one person. In a week, that is what somebody want to take home from January 1st to January 31st. So to me, it's painful. How much is the security vote of a state governor as we speak today? And tell me the state in Nigeria that is peaceful. You see them putting curfew 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. You collect 500 million, you collect 600 million, you collect 300 million, and the peace is not there. How many people, how many 20,000 are 200 million or 300 million?
Okay, I'll come back to you.
So on their own, they should be happy these people are asking at this point, and they should not have, there should not be a negotiation. The negotiation, before they say they don't want it again, we should quickly answer them.
All right, Cosmos Erabo, you are saying that you don't want to be pessimistic or optimistic this time around, or pessimistic, but now here we are. A body is threatening. He said, if you don't give us what we're asking for, we will not come out to say, hey, take our vote. That means somewhere along the line, that you feel that the vote of his people matters a lot, or according to your statement, it will not count.
My brother, you see, when you talk of...
Why the first?
That's the Nigerian factor now. You see, when you talk of Nigeria, and when you talk of election, so many things play out. First of all, in a party, you have structures. You have leaders. You have those who are contesting election. And in our system, there exist ties. If my brother is contesting, I owe my brother a duty to vote for him, because when he gets there, I'm sure something will get to me. Then we have what we call party leaders. If a party leader comes to tell you, I want so person, vote for so person, you want to vote for that person because he's your leader, you want to obey the person. Then you also have the workers, so to say. And then before you talk of the significance of the workers, you now ask, what is the percentage of the workers actually? Have we removed these ties I talk about now, links and all that, and all those you are loyal to? Now, what is the percentage of the workers in the particular place? You remove that one, then you now have others. These others are the ones who are sitting on the fence, the political loafers. Then you now talk of the mentality of these loafers. How many of them are educated? You remove the education, you now say, how many of them actually have conscience? You remove that, how many of them have voters card? How many of them will go and vote? So by the time you sieve all these things out, you discover that, my brother, what is left is about 5-6%. Those are people who actually sit down and say, I want to vote my conscience, I want to do this. And unfortunately, it does not count. Now, if you want to talk now back to the workers.
Yes.
The workers are agitating. That know this, know that. How many of them will say, because we are workers, their brothers are contesting an election, they will not vote for their brothers?
You just hold on. We'll return after this break. You continue from where you start.
TMI, every opinion counts.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. We're taking a look at the state of the nation political situation.
We're with you. We'll have to take a short break. So, Barrister, you were analyzing, talking about removal of some set of persons just to get that right equation. Could you please continue from where you stopped?
My summation is simple. The issue of workers, you see, it is good government should listen to them. But whether their vote, their impact, their agitation will make an impact or not, I want to say it's rather very minimal impact, very, very minimal impact. Because if of recent you are aware where a party did primaries, presidential primaries, and then there was just only one candidate, and then we had some staggering figures as people who voted, where for me I was not aware anybody voted in my state. So what I'm trying to say is simple. In politics, the more you look, the less you see. And that's a simple truth, in as much as it's unfortunate, but that's a simple truth. The more you look, the less you see. The workers' agitation is good, but there are so many factors, you know, underlying it. It might not make an impact. The government can decide to ignore their threat, but I think it is good to listen to them because they are human beings. The situation has really gone bad. For keeping them 18%, 18,000 naira minimum wage is really bad. Like my brother said, yeah, it's not even enough to fear your car. It's not enough to buy your recharge card. What you expect somewhere, and then you now say you are fighting corruption. Why won't such a person look for alternative means to survive? So they should listen to them. But it's not as if when you talk of really making and creating a party in this, no, it will not.
All right. Michael?
Yes, thank you. You know, first of all, we have to look at who the workers are. The workers are those people who are gainfully employed in one federal ministry or one state ministry or parastatal or the other. In a country where we have unemployment rate as high as 82%, in a country where we have people who are not gainfully employed, that is to say the percentage of people who are not in the labor are much more than those who are in the labor. So if the NLC wants to take such a stance, I would advise that they tread with caution, because the government of the day may just merely laugh and say, hey, are you sure you are okay? Because it is the labor force of Switzerland, countries like the USA, where employment rate or unemployment rate is about is as low as 4%, 5%. That's when we can now make such threats. Because if you look at the workers that we are talking about now, who have been ordered not to vote, these are people that, first of all, the percentage of those people who have PVCs among them are just a number. And then coupled with the fact that there are some factions, like my brother just rightly said, there are some factions in those labor where this one belongs to this, that one belongs to this, that one have affiliate with this one has affiliate with the other one. So when we now gather them together, we now see that the people who will really obey these instructions or this order will just be a meager amount of people or meager sum of people, which as compared to if we have everybody inclusive, as compared to if we had a higher amount of persons who are gainfully employed, who really are the labor force. So it will not really hold water, because the persons who are employed are very, very few. So and then government influence is there, personal influence is there, party influence is there, family influence is there, friendship influence is there, and then religious influence is also there, because people would like to also vote for people who are affiliated with their own religion or church. For example, if I attend the Redeemed Christian Church of God now, or I attend the Winners or one of these other churches, and then somebody who is in Winners may like to vote for me first. Whether I'm good or I'm bad, it doesn't matter. To them, it doesn't matter. I don't know if you understand. So they would like to vote for me first. Just like what played in 2015 presidential elections. If you know what I'm talking about. You know how they voted for the vice president, because also he has a religious affiliation with one or two other persons in the Redeemed Christian Church of God. So there's no redeemer that will say, I will not vote for Simbajo as at that time. It is not possible.
All right, now we're not here to campaign for anybody. Please, we have to follow the rules and regulations governing the air waves. You gave an instance of what happened in 2015, but not what is going to happen in 2019. Because
2019 will be different.
2019 will be different.
Very, very different.
Okay, Abara, they're saying that the workforce, though they should be looked into, but their vote doesn't really count.
Yeah, thank you so much, my brother. You know, whatever I say or do is a personal thing.
Yes.
I took my time out yesterday because actually I've been very busy for the past 1 month to go see my people. And what I noticed was the high spate of robbery and killing going on. You know, I do always tell you that there's a place I relax at area Aziz, close to Gedegenoka, called Mama Joy's place. Day before yesterday, robbers came and robbed poor Mama Joy that sells Kai and sell everything about Mama Joy is not to 50, 60,000. They robbed her, robbed every other person around that place. What does that go to tell you? It goes to show the failure of the present day government, the failure of government. Are you getting that? When people start stealing from the very poor in the society, it tells you. So if that is happening now, and you want to now add the ones that are also working, you don't want to pay them, that's an explosion waiting to explode. So to me, I have sisters. I have about 5 sisters. 2 of my sisters works in University of Benin. Those 2 of my sisters that works in University of Benin are the one now pushing the entire family to move. I talk from experience. They push it because when month ends, mommy will get maybe 10 or 15,000. Daddy will get maybe 5 or 10,000. But that will get about 3,000. The ones that don't work will get 1 or 2,000. Tell me now, if those 2 people stop, government says they won't increase or government does not pay and they are on strike, who will move the family up? Will that one not first of all affect the voting pattern of Okobayo, Sahon, and siblings? There's a minute one there. That one will affect because I might not even be so powerful to stand on election day because I'm hungry. But when I know my sister, okay, when come and cook food for me, I tell her, when come in, you buy a mineral. With that one already, there is something to move. So now if I cannot at this point even tell to say, okay, there should be increment because if If you also increase those two, the people that do give me TV of 5,000, they will increase to 8 or 10,000. So you can see that if I cannot fight now to say, okay, why am I in APC? If the government cannot do this to say, it's good to do it. What have we really benefited from the government of today? If we cannot say, okay, let this government be remembered to say from 18,000, we now made it 25,000. From 18,000, we made it 30,000. From 18,000, we made it 20,000. I keep hearing, we cannot pay. Some state cannot pay. Some state cannot pay. That one goes down to my ear as if you are putting 6 inches nail inside. Why can you not pay when the governor of a state collects 500 million and the poor mama joy, they keep stealing and courtesan for the first time since the emergence of courtesan from when it metamorphosed from the school system to the outside world? The fight has lasted for neatly since May this year till now October. There is no 2 weeks you don't hear 2 or 3 people fear dead in joint A or joint B.
All right.
The thing is still going, and you sit down and you collect your 500 million, your 300 million monthly.
Okay, I believe
with 500 million, not pay the entire workers.
All right, thank you.
Months.
Thank you. I believe that the security agents, they are working on that assiduously and tirelessly to make sure that things are under control. Depends on the situation they are really finding themselves. They're doing their best to quell that clash between rival bodies. Anyway, our time is almost up. You're going to have 1 minute each, yes, to summarize political situation in the country. Let me start off from you, Barrister Cosmos. Our time is up. Make it 30 seconds each.
Well, like my brother rightly said, it is obvious that what we're having now is almost a failed system. Like I will use the word I don't want to. I advise people. I also advise workers. If you say you are not going to vote at all, you are making a mistake. Because the moment you don't vote, you vote in the, by extension, you vote in the wrong people. Go and vote, but vote against those who have put you in this state. And for every other person, the choice is yours. If you like what is going on, go ahead and vote. If you don't like what is going on, also go and vote. But vote your conscience. Vote for the right thing. Vote away those who have destroyed the economy, destroyed lifestyle, destroyed the world, reduce us to the level we are today.
Thank you. Thank you. Michael?
Thank you. Government cannot say they don't have money to pay minimum wage. If they want to even pay minimum wage of 100,000 naira, they can do it. So my advice for government is that they should cut down on their excesses. They should cut down on their wastefulness. There's too much waste in governance. And if they can cut down on this, then I tell you there will be excess money and surplus money to pay for minimum wage of even 100,000 naira.
All right.
So let them go and put their house in order.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Obaraye, you're the one that had the first shot. 10 seconds for you.
Thank you so much, my brother.
All
I think the 10 seconds will be, I'll say, you be my friend, not be for Marto. Bamurege, my friend, do something. Bamurege. My party should do something now because the time is tickling.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, we have them. Let's just see what is going to happen. Go get your PVC. That is your cue for electing your leaders. Don't throw it away. A man in our daily said, look, your PVC is like your AK-47. It's the strongest weapon so far. Don't sell it. Use it come 2019. Bye for now.